In the heart of Lagos, there are dreams that soar high, dreams of success, power, and endless luxury. But sometimes, these dreams come with a price that demands more than money. This is the story of Titi, an 18-year-old girl who traded her youth for riches, becoming the third wife of a man three times her age. But in a world built on lies, betrayal, and manipulation, even the brightest dreams can turn into a nightmare. Titi was born into a middle-class family in a quiet part of Lagos. She had always been pretty, ambitious, and full of dreams. While her friends spoke of universities, careers, and normal teenage goals, Titi had a different vision. She wanted more, a little more, a lot more, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get it. At a high society event, Titi met Chief Olumide, a 63-year-old businessman known for his immense wealth and his history of multiple marriages. He was the kind of man who turned heads with a suave demeanor, a perfect smile, and a bank account that could buy anything or anyone. But Titi saw him differently. To her, Chief Olumide was just not a man. He was the key to a future she had always dreamed of. To most people, he was just another rich old man with too much power. But to Titi, Chief Olumide was a ticket out. She wasn't interested in love. No, she was after what she could get from him: the luxury, the fame, and the status. So when he looked at her with those eyes, Titi didn't see an old man. She saw opportunity. Weeks passed and Titi began to spend more time with Chief Olumide. He showered her with gifts, designer clothes, jewelry, lavish dinners, and always made her feel special. He promised her a life that she couldn't have imagined back in a small apartment. But there was one condition: he was already married. Twice. Chief Olumide's first wife, Amina, was a stoic woman in her 50s, a known socialite who held the household together with strict rules. The second wife, Ngozi, was in her 40s, beautiful, elegant, and fiercely protective of her place in Olumide's life. Both women had grown accustomed to the power that came with being married to a rich man, but neither had ever expected a young girl like Titi to enter the picture. Titi had learned from watching the wives, their bitterness, their silent wars for dominance, their quiet suffering, but she wasn't interested in the roles. She didn't care about the long hours spent in silence or the battles fought in the shadows. Titi was focused on one thing: money. And if marrying a rich old man was the way to get it, then so be it. One evening, Chief Olumide proposed to Titi. He asked her to be his third wife. Titi, eager and ready to take on this new life, accepted without hesitation. Her family, already struggling with debt, encouraged her to accept the offer, seeing it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to escape poverty. The news of Titi's marriage spread like wildfire. Her friends were shocked. Ayo, her childhood friend, was the first to confront her. She couldn't believe it. An 18-year-old girl marrying a man who could be her grandfather. They argued. They cried. But Titi didn't care. To her, Ayo's judgment didn't matter. What mattered was the future, her future. Her friends who once admired her for her beauty and ambition, turned on her. They called her names: gold digger, opportunist, child bride. But Titi didn't let their words affect her. After all, what was the price of a little judgment when the reward was a life of luxury? Her family, though uncomfortable with the idea, saw the opportunity for a better life. Her mother, who had worked countless jobs to support her children, pushed Titi to accept the marriage, hoping it would bring her family the prosperity they had longed for. At first, Titi's life seemed like a fairy tale. She moved into a sprawling mansion with servants at her command, and she became a staple at elite events. Chief Olamide treated her like a queen, taking her on private jets, buying her expensive cars, and giving her whatever she desired. But despite all the wealth, Titi quickly realized that being the third wife came with complications. The tension between Titi and the other wives was palpable. Amina, the first wife, was a matriarch, stern and unyielding. She was unimpressed by the young, flashy Titi and constantly reminded her of her place. Ngozi, the second wife, was more subtle in her resentment, but her cold stares and passive-aggressive comments made it clear that she wasn't happy with the new addition. In Chief Olamide's house, there was no room for kindness between the wives. It was a competition. One fought in silence, with every woman to outdo the other. But Titi, young and naive, didn't understand the stakes. She didn't realize that while wealth could buy her a beautiful home and a perfect wardrobe, it couldn't buy happiness or respect. Outside the mansion, the public reaction was even worse. Social media exploded with debates about Titi's marriage. Some praised her for securing a comfortable future, calling her a smart, ambitious young woman. Others, however, were furious. Critics called her a child bride, a gold digger, a home wrecker. The whispers never stopped. People judged her for trading her youth for money, and many wondered if she was truly happy. For Titi, the choice was simple: the money and power over everything else. But the world didn't see it that way. While she lived in luxury, her reputation was in ruins. People didn't care about her beauty or her wealth. They saw only the price she paid for it. The tension between the wives grew unbearable. Amina and Ngozi became increasingly hostile towards Titi. They resented her youth, her beauty, and her easy acceptance into a life they had to fight for. The power struggle between the three wives intensified. One evening, Titi was humiliated by Amina in front of the guests at a family gathering. Amina, cold and ruthless, accused Titi of trying to steal her position in the household. Ngozi, who had stayed quiet for so long, joined in with subtle jabs. Chief Olamide, trying to maintain peace, failed to control the situation. The atmosphere in the house became toxic. Titi had wanted a life of glamour, but now she found herself in the middle of a toxic war between women who had been in the game far longer than she had. What was once a dream had turned into a nightmare. The wealth, the luxury, it no longer felt like enough. As the months passed, Titi began to feel trapped. The life she had dreamed of wasn't the paradise she had expected. She was isolated, betrayed by her fellow wives, and ostracized by society. The once constant luxury now felt hollow. She began to question her choices, but it was too late to turn back. Titi had traded her youth for a life she could never truly enjoy. The wealth, the power, the status, none of it mattered anymore. What she had sacrificed was far greater than anything she had gained. In a world where money could buy everything but love, Titi realized the one thing she could never have was peace. In the end, the story of Titi is a warning, a tale of a young girl who chased a dream of wealth and power only to find that sometimes the price of ambition is too high. In a world where everything is for sale, some things like love, respect, and happiness can never be bought.